Hey guys, welcome to another speed build. I hope you're all having a great day. Today I am building on a 30 by 20 lot over in Windenburg, and you can see the specific lot up in the top left hand corner. This is in the main city of Windenburg, which the city is cut into two different neighborhoods, and this is in the old Platts part of the downtown area. So what better style home is there to build in this part of Windenburg, or really honestly any part of Windenburg, than a Tudor style family home? I actually really enjoy these types of houses. They really remind me of The Sims 2, particularly the Pleasance house in The Sims 2, as well as Veronaville. Veronaville has a lot of these style of houses, so it just gives me like nostalgic vibes every time I build one of these, and it just is so much fun for me. I also love the quaint, cozy vibes that Tudor style homes give off. It just looks like it would be so cozy inside of one of these houses. There's something about the dark paneling and the dark woods mixed with the reddish brownish brick that really gives it cozy vibes. The brick in particular, I feel like really gives off the coziness. I absolutely love a good brick house. I know sometimes a Tudor style house will have a stone mixed in or just stone on the bottom, but I really enjoy the brick on the bottom personally. I do end up using stone on this house, but it is only where the chimney ends up going, which will be on the right side of the house. So it may or may not look like it, but I do make this into a 2-story house. At first, I was just going to do one of those like faux second stories where it looks like a second story, but it's not actually a second story, it's just for decoration. But then I realized the bottom story was actually pretty small for the amount of Sims I wanted to live here. And so I did end up choosing last minute to make the upstairs functional. The only thing about it, since I didn't plan ahead while I was building the outside of the house, the roofing is a little bit finicky and annoying as I am building the house. Now, when you're actually in live mode, you should not have a problem because roof pieces tend to disappear when you get close to them when you're in live mode. But if you're ever in build buy mode and you want to redecorate the kids' rooms upstairs, then you will have a little bit of a hard time doing so. You could either remove the roof and place it back when you're done. Like you can just click it and drag it down to the bottom, or just delete it all the way and replace it. Or what I like to do, you'll probably see me do it later in the build when I do build upstairs or when I furnish the upstairs. I end up just changing the walls. Like right now, obviously they're all the way up. I change them to go all the way down. Not just parts of the walls, like I do all 4 walls all the way down, because if you do just part of the walls, then you'll still have the roofing there. But if you make them all go down, then the roof goes away after that. It's kind of interesting, but mostly annoying, so I do apologize about that. But you know what? It kind of adds to the experience of the coziness of this house. I mean, at least that's what I'm telling myself. I typically like to plan ahead, but this time I didn't, so I do apologize about that. Hopefully you guys still enjoy the build anyways. I do have a total of 2 bedrooms downstairs, so you could totally just delete all of the furnishings upstairs, remove the staircase, and not even use the upstairs portion if it really bothers you. There is plenty of room down here. I just really wanted multiple bedrooms, so that is why I ultimately decided to furnish upstairs as well. So at this point in our build, we have a great start on the floor plan. I am starting to add all of the kitchen counters here in the kitchen. Although I absolutely love all of the dark wood, it was a little bit too much with the dark flooring with the dark cabinets, so I decided to place some like off-white, almost beige. I mean, it could pass for white, but if you see the bright white tile next to this, then you know for a fact this is not actually like white, but I guess it's like an off-white tile. I really love this one. This is a base game one. It's actually in the stone section of the flooring catalog, if I'm not mistaken. Either the stone or the brick, but it is not in the tile or the linoleum, even though it looks just like a basic white tile, and I absolutely love that. And I guess I should clarify, I know that there is white tile in the tile catalog, but they're just like the mini ones. I really love the size of this particular one right here. I was searching and searching for the longest time for a basic white tile here in The Sims, and I never found it until I was looking in the stone section one day, and I'm like, oh, well, this could totally pass for what I want it for. So I use it all the time. If you are a returning viewer of mine, it probably looks familiar because I do use it that often. So I added a pretty long island in the kitchen as well. I know it might look a little bit cramped in there, but it does work and it adds to the coziness. I absolutely love the way that the kitchen and dining area turned out. The dining room is just off of the kitchen, and I was going to do one of those super long tables, like the one from Seasons is my favorite, to be honest, but it was a little bit too long to fit there comfortably, and so I ultimately decided to go with this one instead. And this one is the perfect amount of chairs for the family that lives here anyways. I will go back and talk more about the kitchen once we do the decorations in there. I just want to talk really quick about the actual floor plan. So you walk in, you have the staircase right there and the living room, and it has a cozy fireplace. Then you walk straight through that huge archway, and there is the dining room and the kitchen. Off to the left of the dining room, you have the master bedroom, and on the other side, on the right side, I have that super big kind of hallway-ish sort of room. It was a little bit hard to figure out what to do with that because I wanted the back door to be there, and so I didn't want to have it just like a bedroom, so I ended up making it into a little computer room, and you also have the washer and dryer just off of that. I know that's probably interesting, to say the least, but it is what it is. It's just how the floor plan laid out. It works at the end of the day, and really honestly, that's all I could ask for. And then that final bedroom right there, when you walk through the bathroom and the laundry room, is one of the other spare bedrooms, and I end up furnishing it for a teenager. We have not done the upstairs yet, I don't think, but I do end up putting 2 additional bedrooms upstairs and 1 more bathroom. So the total number of bedrooms for this house ends up being 4, and then 3 bathrooms. So for how small it looks like on the outside, it really ended up being a pretty decent size at the end of the day. Of course, making this second story actually be functional helped a lot. So, but like I said, if you do not like having to do what I'm doing with all of the walls down to be able to furnish and decorate and kind of look in the nooks and crannies when you have to put wall decor up, then you could totally just remove the staircase and not even use the upstairs. You could forget about it. Or you could add a ladder somewhere and make it more into an attic space instead and just use it for occasion. But yeah, you've probably seen me just try to make that into an actual space where the roof wasn't in the way, but it was too late. I already did enough on the inside to where I could not change anything else. So it's one of those things where it is what it is, even though it sucks. But right now we do have a good view of the bedrooms upstairs. So this one is a little bit of a wonky shape. I do end up adding one of those closets that is inside of another room, if that makes sense. It's like an in-wall closet. Those are from Get Together, if I'm not mistaken. So it's literally made for Windenburg, I think. So of course I had to use that, even though the rooms upstairs are the only ones that I use those closets. So the ones downstairs do not have those closets, but I do like to use them if it makes sense. So I had a lot of fun doing that in this build. The other bedroom upstairs is very tiny. I end up furnishing the smaller one for a toddler, and then the other one that's like a little bit like an L shaped, I do that one for a child. And the bathroom upstairs, it is only a half bath, so I guess it's more like a 2.5 bathroom house at the end of the day, not necessarily 3. But at least there is an additional, toilet and sink upstairs so the kids don't have to go all the way downstairs to be able to use the bathroom at night. So now that we have all of the floor plan on the inside finished, I went ahead and came back outside to pretty much design the yard to get it exactly how I want it to be, just to have an overall view of what the final product will probably look like. So we have a brown privacy fence wrapped on the right side of the house, and it is a small yard, but I actually was able to fit quite a bit in it. So I have a tiny pond towards the front. I do that later in the build. And then I have a little, well, not a little tree, but a huge like oak tree looking tree in the back right corner. And I end up putting a chicken coop back there as well as some planter boxes. I figured one of the parents or both really enjoy taking care of livestock and growing some fruits and vegetables in their yard. I could totally see them adopting some of those mini sheeps and goats to have in that back area as well, to roam around with the chickens. And you can get wool from the sheeps and milk from the mini goats. And then if you have the simple living lot trait, it just makes this build kind of come to life to have all of those different things. And it just seems like it would be so much fun to play that simple living lifestyle here in this house in Windenburg. There is also that mini pond in their back/side yard. I guess it's more of a side yard. There is that mini pond. I did not add a fishing sign, but if you do download this on the gallery, then I definitely recommend that, especially if you plan on doing these simple living lot traits, because then you can have them go fishing and you almost have everything you need besides the sugar and flour to be able to live sufficiently on your own. I know that they are technically in the downtown area of Windenburg, but that doesn't mean you cannot have a simple living lifestyle. You could totally do both. It's kind of like the best of both worlds. You have the simple living aspect in your yard and home, where you have the garden and the livestock, but you also have a close commute to all of the different things that the downtown has to offer. So it's like the best of both worlds, you know? But we are now back inside, starting to furnish the kitchen and dining room area. So this wallpaper that I'm using in the dining room is from Cottage Living, and I think it is so pretty. I absolutely love the red flowers mixed with the dark border on the bottom. I think it is so pretty. And we have the table that's been there since the very beginning with the chairs. Those chairs are also from Cottage Living. I absolutely love the little red polka dots. It goes with the wallpaper so nicely. That sign on the wall on the right side of the island is also from Cottage Living. So I used a lot of Cottage Living in this house. I used a lot of Get Together, a lot of Cottage Living, and here in the kitchen, as you could probably tell, I am using the garden to table kit as well. All of those packs, honestly, they look so cute together. They match perfectly. They have the same exact sort of vibe. The refrigerator that I am using, Cottage Living. Counters, Cottage Living. I mean, you guys probably see a trend here. And the stove is just base game. I did not use the Cottage Living stove. It didn't really fit there perfectly like this one does. And the mix of the two, I think, actually looks really good together. We have a coffee maker in here. We have a microwave. I absolutely love that chicken statue I put in the corner on the corner cabinet. That is from Cottage Living as well. I think it is so cute. And it totally matches this whole aesthetic of the house. Like, they have chickens outside. They have chicken decor inside. It's perfect. I also really love having the items from the garden to table kit in the kitchen because it just tells the story of these Sims really trying to live a simple living lifestyle and trying to be as self-sufficient as possible. And that is pretty much all there is to say about the kitchen. And Oh, one last thing about the dining room. I did end up putting a no shoes sign above the kitchen hutch. So if you don't like that for your gameplay, just know that that is where it's at. I mean, it's kind of obvious. You kind of see it in the corner right there, but I figured why not just let you guys know just in case. But yeah, we are now in the living room. We have a great start on the living room. I am putting some decorations on the coffee table. I put a digital picture frame. I absolutely love those. That is in the base game now. And we have a little stack of books and a plant. And I just think that coffee table looks so cute and pretty realistic decorations too, I think. So I want to point out, the obvious. I left this part in. I could have deleted this part because it's unnecessary for you guys to see it, but I did not realize that the staircase was missing until I was completely done with this area. I can't remember exactly when I finally realized, but at some point I do. So this bookshelf does not stay, and the mirrors with the ottoman, they don't stay. I do end up putting a fish tank right here. That does end up staying because it's out of the way. But yeah, I do end up remembering at some point, and I totally remove all of those things that I added. So just FYI, in case you were like confused why there was no staircase there, that's why. I absolutely hate when that happens. I think it has to do with the platforms in a build. If you add some platforms, sometimes it makes certain objects around it disappear, like they just totally delete altogether. And I think that's what happened because I did have a staircase there at some point, and that is how I was able to finish the floor plan, because without adding the staircase, it makes it kind of hard to finish, you know? So now that the entryway and the living room is done, I just pretty much finished up the hallway there. I have the computer desk and of course the washer and dryer. And that's really basically it. I did add decorations all around there, but we do have the back door leading to the backyard right there. And yeah, that is basically it. So I am working on the first bathroom now, and this is the one that all of the kids share. And other than the half bathroom upstairs, but this is the only shower tub combo that the kids have to share. So we have the toilet, the sink, mirror. I have been doing this thing lately where above the mirrors in the bathroom, I size down some lights and I place them 3 in a row. I'm trying to achieve that look that you see a lot in real life with like the triple light above a mirror, and I absolutely love that look. I think it is so cute. It adds such a good detail. So I end up doing that in all of the bathrooms. All of the bathrooms look pretty similar. They all have this stone wall and then the same tile and same like bathroom appliances or fixtures, whatever you call those, you know, like the toilet and stuff. And kind of the same decorations too. The only one that ends up being a little bit different is the one in the master bedroom here. I do end up adding I think it's a double shower. Instead of a shower tub combo, I decided just to do a double shower and make my own little shower unit with a custom shower curtain. I do that a lot. I have so much fun doing that. I think it adds such a good detail. And it makes it easier to make builds look different from one another, as much as possible anyways. The only thing is, if the shower curtain is closed, then they just kind of walk through it, but I don't mind that, to be honest. I can look past that. But we are actually starting to work on the custom shower now, so I'm using these shower heads from Snowy Escape. I mean, they got mirrors with them. I feel like that's kind of weird, but maybe, you know, maybe they like to look at themselves while they're taking a shower. I have no idea, but I did like the look of these. And I believe I only have certain packs installed. I can't remember the exact reason why I chose those instead of the Discover University or Lovestruck ones, but here we are. I did. So if you don't like that and you have those other packs, then you could totally swap them out. But I do like the look of the Snowy Escape ones. I just wish that they didn't have the mirrors. I know they're meant for the onsen and Mount Komorebi, but you know what? I like to use them in my house builds as well sometimes. But for this shower, I ended up using an open curtain, so you won't have the effect of your Sims just walking straight through it. It's just always open, so, you know, If someone else uses the bathroom, they can see in the shower while you're in there, but that's fine. Typically, it's only a married couple that uses the bathroom at the same time anyways. But I am now upstairs working on the bathroom up here, and then I will do both of the bedrooms up here. I saved the teens room for last mainly because I forgot about it. That happens sometimes. Sometimes I get distracted during builds and I totally forget about a certain room in a certain location, and it usually is a room on the first story of the house, like way off in the distance. So this definitely makes sense as to why I forgot about that. Like, I furnished everything else around it and then not that, and so I thought I was done, but I wasn't, you know? But there I did. I just remembered about the staircase, or I just noticed about it anyways. I was like upstairs and I did the bathroom and I seen that the staircase was gone, and then it finally clicked in my head. So I had to go back and delete everything that I did, but you know what, that happens sometimes. So I am working on the kids room. Since it was an interesting shape, I really wanted to make it a little bit more interesting instead of it just being an L shaped. So I ended up adding a platform in that long skinny part of the room where the window is, and I put a dollhouse up there. I think that made it look a little bit more detailed and not so plain and kind of like wonky shaped. So I do like the way that turned out. I added an imaginary friend in there for the kid. There is a mental table, of course the dollhouse I said, and a creativity table. The kids' room turned out cute, but not as cute as this toddler's room turned out. I love the teddy bear that is sitting on a corner like that. I added a little fairy stuffed animal. It's like a fairy freezer bunny looking thing. There's a couple of bookcases. That toddler bed that I used was from Enchanted by Nature. It looks very storybook-esque without using the storybook nursery kit, and I think it is so cute in there. By the way, yes, your sim is able to walk past the teddy bear chair and get to the closet, so that is a nice plus too. Last but not least, the final bedroom we are working on is the teens room. The bed that I'm using in here is actually a bed that we got for free from the marketplace, and it was like one of those free additions. It probably is still free, so definitely go snag it if you haven't already, but it might not be depending on when you see this. But it does have a double bed and another maker's kit, but that double bed is not free, but the single bed is, just FYI. In the teens room, I have a dresser. Above the dresser, I have one of those like snowy escape wall items that has some coats and stuff on it. I thought that was such a cute addition. It does snow here in Windenburg, so I feel like that makes sense. And of course there is a computer in the teens room as well. I feel like a teens room is not complete without their own computer. I don't know why I feel that way, but I always have to add one in there. On the back porch, I have a grill and an umbrella table. I was gonna say an umbrella table and chair set, but it is just like a picnic table with an umbrella in it. And then on the actual back porch, when you first walk out of the house, there is just like a little lounging table set. And on the front porch, you just seen me add a couple of garden chairs. Those garden chairs are from Get Together, if I'm not mistaken, and I think they're so cute. I never use them, but I love them so much. And of course, I had to add the hanging plant that I love from the Debug catalog. I had to add those on the front porch. It just adds such a cute touch. As far as the mailbox goes, I did end up adding a wall mailbox right by the front door, and there are 2 trash cans outside, but I put them in the backyard, like right when you first exit the fence in the backyard. I felt like that made a lot of sense. It's kind of like hidden, and you know, in real life you would drag them out to the front for the garbage people to get, but you know, you don't have to do that in the sim. So I just like having them in the backyard more. I think it makes a lot more sense, and it keeps it from having an eyesore in the front. I do put them in the front yard if I'm trying to have like a suburban realistic style home, like an American style home. But for this house, I just thought it looked better in the back. As far as the landscaping, I'm trying to use different combinations of landscaping. I'm still using these really big bushes that I get from the Debug catalog, and I still have the hydrangeas I like, and those really big circular bushes with the, right now I'm using pink flowers, a lot of the time I use yellow. I still have those, but I added the little tiny little circular ones that kind of match the larger ones sprinkled throughout it, and I think it's a really pretty combination. I based this color combination off of the window boxes, the flowers inside of those, and I really wanted it to match those, and I think I did a relatively good job at the end of the day. And I also grabbed some weeds, so they look like little overgrown weeds throughout the yard. They have like white flowers. There's different swatches, but for this build I chose the white swatch. You can see it throughout the tree trunks right there. I never use these, but I'm starting to use them a lot more lately. I have several builds I have built over the last like week or two, and I have them in my storage, and I have been using those weeds a lot lately, and I'm really excited for you guys to see my future builds with them. I don't know why, but I fell in love with those weeds. I really don't know why I did, but I did. I think they add such a good realistic touch. And finally, I'm finishing up the pond right here. I have so much fun decorating ponds in The Sims for some reason, and adding little lily pads and stuff like that and these ducks really makes these ponds come to life. It adds such a good addition, and I just have so much fun trying to make it look as good as possible. And other than this, the last thing that I will do is just a little touch of terrain paint. I do the dying grass / dirt on the bottom layer, and then on top of that I just do the garden soil, and I try to layer two of them together. It just ends up making it look a little bit more blended in, and I enjoy the look of having the multiple layers on top of each other. But we have officially reached the end of our build for today. I had so much fun building this and going over it with you guys, and I really hope you guys did as well. Of course, if you did enjoy this build, or if you learned something, consider leaving a like and subscribing if you have not already, and share this video with your friends if they are Simmers as well. Also, comment down below what your favorite part of today's build was. Doing any and all of those things really helps my channel out, and it helps the algorithm kick my videos out to other Simmers. I appreciate you guys so much, more than you would ever know. If you want to download this is available on the gallery, and my gallery ID is the Clumsy Simmer with no spaces. I hope you all have an amazing day or night. Stay tuned for the screenshots if you are interested, and I will see you all in the next one very soon. Bye guys!